Some questions seem on the face of it to have an obvious answer, but on further reflection, the answer can raise still more questions. Hello, I'm Stuart Baskin, pastor of First Presbyterian Church of Tyler, Texas, and this is your daily devotional for Wednesday, November 26th, 2025. This morning's devotional centers on the importance God places on the faithful. Jesus is speaking here to the disciples, covering several discrete but related topics. He uses a metaphor here that people would have understood in order to describe God's care for his people. Jesus says, "Take care that you do not despise one of these little ones. For I tell you, in heaven their angels continually see the face of my Father in heaven." What do you think, says Jesus, if a shepherd has 100 sheep and one of them has gone astray, does he not leave the 99 on the mountains and go in search of the one that went astray? And if he finds it, truly I tell you, he rejoices over it more than over the 99 that never went astray. So it is not the will of your Father in heaven that one of these little ones should be lost. So let me just say here, it is not at all obvious to me that any shepherd in his right mind would abandon 99 sheep to look for one lost one. Such a shepherd would risk losing the entire flock to lurking predators or thieves. At best, once he returned to where he left the flock, he'd probably have to spend hours rounding the rest of the flock up again. If I'm a shepherd and I discover one of my 100 sheep has gone missing, and assuming I didn't have a helper, I'd be sorely tempted to cut my losses rather than risk the 99 for the one. But maybe that's the point here. The point maybe is not that God behaves like any good shepherd. It is that God does something truly outrageous and unexpected. God places so much value on each and every one of the faithful that losing even one is a tragedy too great to allow. Seen in this way, this metaphor serves to underline God's great love for us by making a counterintuitive example of a shepherd. This chapter started with the disciples asking Jesus who the greatest in the kingdom of heaven is. Jesus responds by taking a child and placing it on his knee and declaring, "Unless you change and become like children, you will never enter the kingdom of heaven. Whoever becomes humble like this child is the greatest in the kingdom of heaven." Then he speaks about the value God places on what Jesus calls the little ones. Initially, of course, this refers to children, but it is clear that what he really has in mind is the humble follower, the one who is just trying to live a good and faithful life. He speaks about the importance of finding the lost. He talks about the importance of maintaining the unity of the fellowship of believers and how important it is to be reconciled to one another. And he talks about the importance of forgiveness. In all of these cases, Jesus is really saying that each and every one of us in the household of faith is of infinite worth and value to God, a God who will do what no shepherd would do to go out of his way and retrieve us when we are lost. To restate Jesus' question, "What do you think?" maybe the better question is God passionate about us or what? Now may God continue to bless you and keep you in all that you do this day and in all the days ahead.